I'm back in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a Ferris wheel. Yeah, I love them dark skin, brown skin, caramel. You know I had to bring it to the hood like she Karen Civil when she keep on turning head. Cause when she walk that thing jiggle. And we going back to back on them like we Huey and we Riley. This that back in my back flow, we back again so highly. This that back in my back flow, we back to change the climate. This that back in my back flow, we bring the force like Tommy. Back in my back flow. Back in my, yeah, back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, I'm back in my bag, yeah. I'm back in my, back in my bag flow. Back again, yeah, we keep on stacking it, what's happening? Everything in Gucci got me feeling like I'm dapper then. Life has been a movie, yeah, so shout out to the cameraman. Pull up to the scene, it's going down like an avalanche. Steady going up like a travel plan. Homer Simpson face, lucky power plant. Yeah, I'm off that dope, like I'm back again to Vizzy. At the Millies, out on Club Hearst. Give the word if it's a city, Lord forgive me. Still having motion, dog, so why would I slow it? Make it rain on them, bust a band, then you throw it. We was steady having it, even at our lowest. High speed road runner, keep my motor going. Hey, hey. People feel away, but they don't show it. Gotta watch.
My baloney has a first name, it's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name, it's M-A-Y-E-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G and A.
Oscar Mayer, the first name in Bologna.
How's that?
I will shill shamelessly for Bologna, however you pronounce it. What is going on, kiddos? Said Stevie, sent you a message, my friend. Donzo. What is up, my man? Level on up. Good to see you guys. I jumped in a little early. I just looked and saw what I do is I make sure Tri-State done with his little show. Packs him in there, so I'll want to let him get done. And he seems to end up about 10, so maybe I'll move it up 15 minutes. My Insomniacs live. And I've been a slacker about doing my shorts. I've not been a slacker about doing my shorts. I spam those like crazy. But anyway, Be Shady, what's up? Addicted to Knives 2, what's up? And guys, I'm sorry if I go off on a tangent. I've been drinking massive amounts of double shots, and they're coupled with THC lemonade iced tea. So it's kind of like liquid speedballs. I've been on them for a couple of hours now. So I might get distracted. If I miss you in the chat, I'll come back and get you. Marco, what is up, brother man? Good to see you. But yeah, see, I even forgot where I was going. I was going somewhere not important, but I always want to if he's going to get off, I think I was saying at 10, I'll jump on early, 15 minutes early. We can still go late as y'all want to. But what I was going to apologize for is not last week, but the week before, I did 2 pop-up vertical streams where I wanted to do the disassembly and still do of my TRM Bulldog, because I've never taken one of their river locks apart, and I've noticed that they're selling scales for them, and Skiff sells bearings that I happen to have picked up. So I've got some Skiff bearings for my TRM Bulldog, but I'm nervous because I know that they're very particular about shadows. They don't want you to take them apart. What's up, Josh? Cheeto, what is up, guys? So I am going to next week, not this week, but next week, I'm going to do those. I think it's Monday at 1:00, and then Thursday at like 10:15 a.m. a short portrait kind of pop up live where I'll either be kind of sharpening and shooting the shit or taking something apart, probably messing it up, but we'll do it live. That's why I've always liked to do my disassembly videos and record them, because heaven forbid if I have to pause it, I can, right? And then I can find the screw that shot off the table. Anytime you do something like that live, I have a feeling, let's see if I can make this where you can see it. I don't think you guys get a great view of my table. Maybe I can go lower with the camera. But I've got, yeah, if I can make my lighting brighter. Bear with me. Technical difficulty. I don't think that helped. I saw a funny clip today from Pocket Metals last night with me and Donzo. Donzo, I don't know if you saw that yet. I'll share it here in a little while once we get a little bit further into let me find it. Here it is. Once we get a little further into the live. I found this hilarious. All right. So first of all, I want to apologize to anybody if I offended. I have not checked my Instagram DMs, so I don't know if anybody sent me how disappointed they are. But when I watch it back, I am shocked by my language. And for that, sorry, not sorry is kind of how I roll. Because I'm kind of for lack of a better terms, a very disorganized guy that likes to talk about knives, whose stream of consciousness could go down any rabbit hole. And usually it's started innocently. I'm not saying to set me off, but innocently something will come up that'll make my head and my train of thought go somewhere totally different. And then the next thing you know, you're talking about just wacky shit. But that's what I think are great about live streams. Hey, Donnie, that's the funniest thing, dude. I've got it pulled up. We're going to watch it here in a little while. Once YouTube realizes that I'm not going to sit here and curse, and I'm going to respect terms of service, YouTube terms of service always. I see a lot of people say stuff, especially on some of these crazy channels I watch, where these grown men will threaten each other, like I'm coming to your gig. We can talk about glitter all night long. Hey, that's a song by Lionel Richie, All Night Long. I'll tell you the songs that have been showing up on my YouTube feed, and I wake up really early, like 6:30, and I usually start with whatever music's in my music feed. And this is going to sound kind of GHEY, but Phil Collins, like Take Me Home Live, Steely Dan showing up a lot. Their live performances, because I like to watch the live stuff. And Widespread Panic, Grateful Dead's always fantastic for me. Hey, Ed, that knife show was fun, and I've got a couple of knives I want to talk about tonight. I've got, and I need to pull out Mud Sharks. I don't think he has his address on his card. This guy's name is Ashley, but he goes by Ash. I don't know if he's in Alabama or Tennessee, because I saw and was very impressed. I could have stayed longer, and what I should have done, because I got there right when it opened, because I had a members live scheduled for 11, and I really didn't want to miss that. So I went at 9 when it opened, figuring everyone would have been set up, but people were just setting up when I got there. So I got to see the people. I got to see more people than I needed to see. It left a mark. It was expensive. But Mud Dog Forge, and we're going to look at their Instagrams. I'm going to share them with you, because I'm trying to get them, if they ever want to come on Friday Night Flicks. Ash not only makes knives. Whoops, I just dropped all my cards, like at Vegas. So he makes these sheaths in his living room for his knives. He makes Bowie knives. He makes pig stickers. This is the smallest one he had. And this he makes in his single car garage. This is his runt. Again, he had some really cool paring knives. He had some really cool, it's an 80 CRV2, micarta handles, but beautiful, beautiful construction. And for me, this knife was $150, made either in Alabama or Tennessee by Ash, who is a super nice maker. I mean, most of the makers I meet are very, very humble. They're very kind. They don't seem to think that their stuff's all that. The ones that I see are like, oh gosh, I'm surprised you've seen me before. Like Jed Hornback. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of him. I'm back. No, I'm picking up my cards. So Jed, I don't know if y'all have heard of old Jed, but Jed Hornbeak is in Western Tennessee, and he makes some really, really interesting blades. Really rugged blades, kind of tactical blades. He uses CPM D2, which I hope Shane jumps in here because I've heard only good things from good D2 if it's done right. I met this guy that we'll look at his Instagram shortly. W. Gwynn Knives. He and his wife, small maker out of Fife, Alabama, who had some knives that he had some small ones, but he didn't have them there. He had pictures of them, but he had some knives that had some very intense thin grinds. Yeah, Hornbeak. That's exactly right. I spent some time, and he's actually on my video, Jed, and makes some fantastic, fantastic blades. And then Black Star Designs. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of them. I've never heard of them. The only reason I heard about them was they had a table there and they had some really cool, they have a flipper that they've designed or they've got there. I assume they designed and made it because they also had a bunch of really rugged little fixed blades. They're in that short video I did, and I apologize for that because I was kind of rushed going through there. But they had some of Dopey's anodization work on about 6 folders. And we'll look at that video here in a little while if y'all are interested, but they were amazing. But then I went to Driver Defense Knives. Driver's Defense is about 45 miles from where I live. And I've reviewed one of his folders that my buddy A to Z bought that's got semiconductor and titanium for the handle. It's got one of the most ridiculous grinds. It's a beautiful, well-made folder. He makes amazing slip joints, but he also makes fixed blades. And for me, they're affordable. So this is one I picked up at the Nashville Knife Show last year. This is a Splinter. It's about, I want to say an 8-inch knife, maybe 7.5 in Magna Cut. Made right down the road. And I went to his booth and he had something I wasn't expecting on seeing. This is the Ricochet. And this is about an inch smaller. G10 handle, G10 liners, Magna Cut, done at about 65. Just really good makers. And I really want to draw extra attention to Driver Defense Knives. He sold me this knife for $200, kind of a show special deal. And I think they go for right around 3. But well worth it. I don't know if you can see the hand done jimping on that blade. And the Splinter that I have does not have that jimping. However, the new Splinters, if you want a larger knife, which the Splinter is a great EDC, little bit larger fixed. But let's jump over to IG, and I'll say that that horrendous. Let me close that out. Let me go here. Now, Dustin, who is Dustin Driver at Driver Defense, makes everything from small fixed blades to full-size swords. He will be at Blade Show in Atlanta. He is every year. He has one of the coolest logos, I think, in the game because he does all his own art, if I'm not mistaken. Is that sharing? All right, here we go. So that's what he took, or maybe hopefully that's not what he brought home. But that little chode I looked at, that folder, this is what he had or what he brought home. Hopefully he sold more than that because I bought that one smaller knife there. These are really nice bird and trout kind of knives. Beautiful handles. And this little guy has a deep hollow grind, thick compound front. Again, that's not his fixed blades are part of what he does, but he does. He rarely does anodizing this or laser engraving. That must have been something special for that knife. But he makes amazing folders. Let me get some. And that's all done by hand. And that's a driver defense knife. And my buddy, like I said, A to Z, I'll show you. We'll come to it in a second. The knife that he bought. And to be honest with you, it's got the coolest grind of any of his designs that I've seen. But his slip joints, that's a little Nashville Custom Knife Show. Oh, that's 17 weeks ago. God dang, I was about to say next week. All right, let me slide down and find this one knife. There's Dustin, his logo, and the reason he does what he does. Such a good guy. I mean, if you get a chance and you want to buy some cool shirts, some cool merch, they rarely have my size, which is kind of small. I can get by with medium, but they do have the bigger sizes. But that's his work. And I think we've got some better pictures of those swords. But these are just some of his folders. But you've got to see, here's some swords. He had these at Blade Show last year. He makes amazing MagnaCut fixed blades, makes beautiful fixed slip joints. I don't think pocket metal's a huge fan, but that's a MagnaCut, handmade, pinned with vintage micarta, done exceptionally well. But yes, it does have screw where the pivot is. But he does beautiful slip joints. The slip joint that I showed on that walkthrough of the Rocket City Knife Show, I couldn't open it because I was holding the camera with the other hand. But the warmth of the micarta that it was made with, he just uses the best materials. He does not skimp. And like this one that I'm getting ready to show you, that's similar, except it was micarta to the knife that I looked at the Rocket City Knife Show. Let me find, and then I'll get off this. I apologize, guys. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Once I find this knife and show it to you, you'll realize that I did it for a reason because it does have the coolest grind of any of the ones we've seen so far, I think. So much that my buddy A to Z reached out and bought it. This is it. I've got a review of it on the page, but that's a semiconductor and titanium. Semiconductors are really expensive material, by the way. That knife was ridiculous. Look at the grind. That is an amazing, amazing knife. It really is. And he does not like finger holes, but that thing reverse flicks like a beast. Like a beast. Let me come back to chat. Let me see what I missed. Guys, I am sorry. Stevie's got a link. Stevie's got a link. I came back to chat. Paul Mills is in the house. What's up, brother Paul? Tori Casey is in here. What is up? Brother William DeCito. I was today looking for media assets, and I don't think I uploaded. I got to do that real quick. Hold on a second. I had one just for my buddy. Where is that? It's probably going to crash my whole shit trying to pull it up here, but I'm doing it for the love of Master Cheeto. Where is it? There it is. Nope. Where is it? There it is. Open. Oh, so it's going to tell me I've got a lot of videos, and it's going to make me, I'm going to delete Meatwad. Bye-bye, Meatwad. You had to go to make room for Cheeto. I'll miss Meatwad. But yeah, Cheeto, I was thinking about you today and made a clip for you. Shane, awesome, buddy. Do it that what you will, because all that is a freaking rough sketch that you can either duplicate or you can make it, you can Shaneify it. I hope you're doing well, buddy. What is up, Terry? Good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Just in time. What is up, buddy? And channel member, I'm not acknowledging you guys. Mersalt, channel member, what is up? All right, Cheeto, channel member. Let's show you what I got for Cheeto. Do y'all remember this?
I most heartily recommend Cheetos, cheese-flavored puffs. They have real cheese flavor and come in two kinds of crunches, baked to a delicate crunch and quick fried to a crackly crunch. Cheetos, cheese that...
That's old shit, dude. That is old shit. Oh, that's okay, dude. That's okay. I just saw it earlier. So anyway, if he does, it is all good. Are you still in Canada, Stevie? Please tell me you're going to be back in front of the Honey Bucket on Thursday night. And we're going to get to hear the story. That's why you should come join. You won't be alone, my friend. I would never look. All I got to do is make this go away. Watch this. There's room for Stevie. I did put together a killer trade a couple of weeks ago. And I was able, because I missed out and got my I'm so stoked. Luckily, a brother from another mother had no honey bucket this week. I have to travel to Vegas tomorrow for a few days. Oh, that's going to be a nice change from, I would think, where you've been. I would think that would be almost like excellent. So Friday night, said faction is when we're gonna hear the details of your. Gosh, that's pretty much a crossing a good part of the country, John. Hopefully, it's going well, buddy, and it's settled into to some kind of normalcy, more just work with bad weather, with shitty bad weather. Donnie, and awesome live streams lately, and awesome short live streams. You hear that beeping? That dun dun dun. That's my old timer reminding me it was time to go to bed or get ready for bed when I was working a corporate job, which I've got to get back to some kind of work, like digital marketing work with a company or clients, just to keep myself from going insane or do something different. But I don't know what something different looks like, which they say when you get out of your comfort zone, that's the best time to figure it out. But I always worry about I think I got Stevie with that second one. Nobody's ever expecting the second one. I don't know where you're staying in Vegas, Stevie, but when I went last time, which was a year and a half ago, I stayed at Planet Hollywood. There's a very neat, if you jump in a taxi or an Uber and get them to take you to the nice dispensary that's about a mile off the strip, it is banging. It's well worth the cab ride. And the funny thing is, you get a bonus for to give to your cab driver if you've got a ticket, because the cab driver gives you a ticket and doesn't charge you for the time that he sits in the parking lot of this particular dispensary. Let me tell you the name of it. I mean, it's like, I don't want the one on the strip. It's like It's like a jewelry store. Is more than a Planet 13, I think is what it is. Hold on, let me check this out. Yep. So here's where you want to go, Stevie. Take a taxi ride to Planet 13 and talk to your concierge. There may be better ones there. But this is a quite impressive facility where they're making their own. You can watch them extract while you wait, or you can just, go check it out. It's a cool place. Planet 13. And there are other really cool ones too, to be honest with you. Burnt Relic, what is up, brother? Let me good to see you too, my man. I hope all is well. Burnt Relics provided the awesome Jason Brown memorial carving behind me that now has a Chewy and a Joe Isabella the Up remembrance to remind me to bring the B up wherever I go. I've got only American knives for no particular reason out tonight, and with the exception of this one. Whoops, where'd my other screen go? With the exception of this one. And this is a tenable. I can't pronounce it right. I don't know if you can recognize that shape, but tenable is Concepts more bargain brand, I guess you'd say. And this knife in aluminum and 14C is the Cryo. So if you remember, the Cryo had a finger hole in the Concept version, but they always change something in the tenable. This is a $52 knife, full size, because the Cryo is a PM2 size knife for you bigger handed guys and gals. But I'm not an axis lock guy. The detent is I can reverse finger flick it or thumb flick it like nobody's business, but it feels like an axis lock, which is not my preference. But in terms of a well-made knife, I've been very impressed with everything Concept's been willing to send me to check out. Some of their more budget line stuff, and then to check out one of these finally. I've been impressed with it. This is the only non-American knife because it's been sitting out here because I haven't done my final thoughts on it. But one of my favorites is the McNeese 3.5. I go back and forth between a Lynch clip and the standard clip on it. But I carry this knife so much. Not one of my most expensive, but it's definitely one of my favorites. I need to pay homage to it more. And then one I don't carry nearly enough is my mini Arius that I was lucky enough to get from Lord Needham. He sent me a couple of knives to check out. He had two of these. So he had a plan when he sent them to me to check out, and I bit right into the bait, swallowed the hook, and I was done. 1931 Leatherworks, the bar locks are probably the best lockup. I talk about that. And the only reason I've come to like more of a mechanical detent feel is totally subjective. I love the fact that a bar lock, I don't even have to, I can just flick it out. I used to love, like, when the Civivi first button lock came out that didn't have a deployment method that everybody whined about. I love that. That used to be one of my jam. I need to start too, Paul. It needs to spend more time in my pocket. And then this is another one. I've got a vise here. I need to take this clip off and probably get a Lynch clip. I think Lynch makes a clip for this knife, or I need to bend it back into place. But I really like and think this is for $300 with an aluminum handle, an M3, 90, MK, whatever the fuck the MK means, is a winner. The sharpest knife from the factory that I've ever gotten. I've cut some cardboard with it, not I haven't processed like boxes, but I've cut down at least 2 boxes with it. 2 boxes worth of cardboard, and it doesn't have a thin grind. It's a freaking stitch, for God's sakes. And the factory edge. Just amazing. Big knife, but one that if somebody was trying to take my Slurpee, I would love to have it in my pocket. Just in Time, the McNeese is fantastic. Go to his website and Karen, what's up? Yeah, it's well worth $300. Some of these knives get crazy priced, and some of them are very affordable. That are very good knives. It just depends on what you're, as a knife journey person, wherever you are in your journey, are looking for, right? And American knives are going to typically be more expensive. Ones that are made here, the ones that I've got out on the table happen to be examples of knives that are made here. But some of them are my favorite. You know, the ProTech Mordax. I want to say this is under $300. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's like $260. But it's Magna Cut, really good blade steel, aluminum handle, button lock. Great knife. And then, of course, my XM18. I like everything about it. I just wish it had a different blade. I wish it had the slicer grind. It's a Spanto, which is fine for me. I profiled it at 19 degrees, and it's plenty slicey. But I'm not much of a... Yeah, Paul, I think you're right. I think it's under 300. It's not much of a... I'm not much of a jabber poker guy where this knife, the Spanto tip being thick, is kind of designed as a piercer. You need to cut into sacks, I guess, and stuff like that. Or somebody's trying to take your Slurpee. But lately, my whole game has been fixed blades, and I don't know why that is. I'm thinking I don't go to my therapist anymore. I go to my psychiatrist, and they really don't want to hear about my knife problems. The smooth Mordax is $240, so I bet the other's $265. Yep, I think you're right, Paul. I think that's exactly right. And I'll tell you one I've been really interested in, and I almost pulled the trigger on it, but I knew that this little Tennessee Rocket City knife show was coming up. Is it the TR1 manual, the one with thumb studs? That's Stephen Clayton. Good to see you, buddy. Relax, my friend. Chill. Listen to the sound of my blabber. But or like turn it down. But what is that ProTech? I think it's the TR1. Google it. ProTech. Oh. TR4. Uh-oh, my connection is not private. What do you mean? Oh yeah, that's a janky site. Thank you, Google. All right. ProTech manual knives. Bear with me, guys. And y'all are probably screaming in the chat that I'm not even looking at what the name of the knife is. Go to Blade HQ because they're the first one that come up, and I know they're not going to virus me out. Here, the screen. The T3 Integrity. Hey, check out the squirrel. That's a smooth one for $2.25. And instead of having a flipper tab, it's got the thumb studs. I love the blade profile. I think it's just a sweet looking knife. And I've got the Malibu and the Mordax, and that would kind of complete the temporary button lock phase. Even though when I was talking to I forget his name. What's the dude's name? Is it Dave that owns ProTech? Is that the CEO? He said they're going to do all their models eventually in a manual. That's on their their plan is to release most of their knives in a manual configuration with that button lock. That's kind of their deal. Dave, thank you, Zach. I thought so. Super nice guy, very engaging. Now, I don't know if he's shooting straight or not, but I don't really care. I like story time too. And guys, I'm stoked about Atlanta Blade Show. I haven't figured out the logistic of it yet, but I'm going to definitely make it happen. I've got to be there, not like last year where I was there for a Saturday and I was in and out and it was just brutal. My legs were dead. I didn't get to see half the people I wanted to see. What's up, Gareth? Good to see you, buddy. Another really cool fixed blade that came in is the TKL Adversary. A wicked little Warncliffe with an interesting gimp. I don't know if you can see that. Kind of like a harpoon in a way. What it does is it keeps your hand, gives it positive traction for piercing, even though I wouldn't use this knife for EDC as a piercer. Hey, Luke, what's up, buddy? But that's a little 7-inch banger. It's called the TRM Adversary. They sent it to me to check out. Tim and Suzanne are very, very supportive. I, as return, do not take any commissions from any sales of them. I do have a discount code and a link, but I don't get any commissions. I want them to roll it back into their business. I do that with several small companies that I work with. I'm not in it for that. Blade HQ, you guys want to buy something there, they get me a commission, DLT. I'm happy with that, but that's not why I do what I do. So these guys, there's a discount code. I think it's $10 off if you type in Javon at checkout. But how's everybody doing? I mean, is everybody having a good week? It's only Tuesday. I miss Tri-State. I fell asleep. I've got the weirdest sleep hours, guys. I have to set an alarm on my wrist for 8:30 just in case I nod out over on the couch. Just be sitting there listening to something on YouTube, something about the William. They've offered me an affiliate link, which I do have a quote unquote affiliate link, but I opt not to get. You don't have to get the commissions. And the only reason I don't want commissions from TKL is I know they don't need to pay me to promote their stuff because I've always liked it. They're kind enough to send me knives, and I know it's a small business. It's a husband and wife and some kids that depend on it. So I'm happy to. They've never asked for that. It's something I'm not comfortable getting commissions from certain companies because I know it's better for them to reinvest that in the business because I know how thin margins can be. And it's just a me thing. Richard, that's always exciting. Are they delivering tonight still? Because if you might be on time zone where they're still delivering mail, but I hate waiting unless I know when it's coming and it sticks to that schedule. Or if it's a pre-sale, which I haven't done in, I want to say 4 years. And most pre-sales I pick up after the pre-sale. So I don't know the last time I did a pre-sale. I don't think if I've done a pre-sale. I know I have. I bet if I've done a pre-sale, I don't still have that knife. Because recently I've started trading knives occasionally and giving away knives, of course, but not my cream of my collection, the ones that mean something to me. But I've definitely traded some and sold some, as we do from time to time to make room for something else. I don't know if y'all like little inexpensive fixed blades, but this little Tops pointer has got, if it wasn't for that jimping, and you might really like the jimping, I think it's too far back on the blade. It's called the 3-pointer, so I don't skin deer. That might be the way you want it to position your hand back, but I would prefer the jimping be up here because the handle fits my hand perfectly. But when you put your thumb back on that jimping, it kicks my hand back, and I had to make a little lanyard. This is a good little under $140 USA made fixed blade you can get on Amazon that I got just to check out. I've been pleased with it. It'll probably make a members giveaway coming up down the road. Roman M, what's up, brother? The waiting is the hardest part, but it's also take it from somebody, a recovering addict who's been an addict for his whole life, pretty much, and hasn't been an active addict for 9 years, but knife buying was my addiction and still is. I'm just not actively using, so to speak. But the between ordering, getting the confirmation email, and then incoming when I knew it had shipped and waiting for it, that's when I got the most dopamine. And then the day that it would hit, I'd open it, I'd film it, take pictures of it, love on it, put it in a case because I would have moved on to something else. So one of the coolest things about not buying knives anymore because I'm not working is going back through my collection and rediscovering the cool shit that I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to pick up over the years, and just get to use it. I thought that one went pretty fast though. I thought it went under. I thought it came in before they thought it was. I could be wrong. Maybe that was the Excalibur. I've been seeing some thumbnails by that guy CBX7 about the Excalibur. He's doing like it in series, taking it apart. Hey, Kyle Coonley, what is up, my brother from another mother? I hope you didn't roast me in my PS Prof video because that was a shitty first attempt. And at the time when I did it, I didn't realize I didn't have my clamp holder. Richard, that is awesome, buddy. I've got a Corvette S and S35VN that's going to eventually be a member giveaway knife. I'm keeping it because I've got another Koch Tools. I can't grab it out right now, but I've got a Koch Tools USA made little fixed blade, and I wanted to break out their collaboration with Concept because it's such a great knife. It's a great little cleaver style chopper. Hey, Mark Parks, channel member, good to see you. Mere Salt, good to see you, buddy. Did you slip in here and I miss you, or did I already say hey and I just forgot? Madiaco, what is up, buddy? I missed you. You went by quick. Hey, did you ever get your Kydex worked out with Jack, or do I need to do any follow-up for you there? Let me know in the chat, yo. He had a cool picture today on Instagram of him. Like, when did you discover knives? And it was a picture of him as like a little camper, Boy Scout, Cub Scout kid with a knife. And a picture of him now. And he looks the fucking same. He just looks older. A little older now. But he looks exactly the same. You can tell it's him. I could pick that kid, that little 7-year-old or 6-year-old out of the lineup any day. Still mad. Did y'all get that worked out? I know he said he was going to send you a bunch. And I'm sure it's the pain in the ass to ship it. It is awesome. Let me tell you something just in time. Concepts I didn't collect as much. Or let me know if I need to follow up. I'm sure he's just busy and he's probably trying to get a way to package it up. That's probably something that's tricky, is packaging it up and get it shipped. I don't know how big the pieces are, but Concept, I started out, and I don't have them over in these two cases, but I traded for, I think my first Concept was the Bulldozer. I still got that knife in 20 CV with my buddy Dark Gravity, who I don't see on Instagram or YouTube much anymore, but he's still in town, or the town right up from me, between Timmy and I, Bama Ninja. And this year they've probably been as generous with sending me out knives to review, like the Cryo, the Fenrir, which I was really. Zach has been a member for 5 months. Zach, dude, I appreciate your continued belief in my little channel and your support, dude. It means everything to me. I'm gonna give you a man hug. We're doing it, Zach. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man. And Zach gifted a membership. Who picked that up? That was picked up by Stephen Clayton Jr. Stephen Clayton Jr., welcome. Thank brother Zach for gifting a membership that you picked up because you had your memberships turned on. Guys, make sure you do have your memberships turned on. My music going from? That was kind of whack. Got extra music. But yeah, so where was it again? It went to Stephen, so Stephen Clayton on Saturday mornings at 11. And I haven't missed one except the second one I held, I missed. There are too many knives out there just in time. And what I was going to say before I lost my train of thought, because I always lose my train of thought, is there are too many knives out there. They've been very impressive knives because I've not handled them in a while. And when I look back at the Bulldozer, for example, it's a great knife. It's a different design. And the reason they have unique designs is they work with a lot of designers, kind of like Kaiser does. My understanding is, and my understanding is very shallow, I hear from people in the community, that Kaiser and Concept used to have Kaiser employees. Some of the Kaiser employees left Kaiser and started Concept. So I think you can't go wrong with them, but there's too many knives out there. And I'm going to do a video about it one day, and I probably should do it soon. But I don't want to come off sounding preachy. If I had it to do over again, which I don't, and I wouldn't do anything different, I've always said that we all learn from the way we unfold our lives, right? Or our lives unfold. I think we kind of unfold them. But if I could give my 3 year ago self advice, what would I tell myself? And it would be, what's up, Henry G? And it would be to collect differently, right? Be more open. Don't get FOMO, fear of missing out. Don't get influenced that this knife's going to be great or that knife's going to be great. Chances are, if it's great, you're going to get a better pull at it when they do the version 2. And if it's not good enough to do a version 2, you didn't miss out on anything but hype. And save instead of buying, like, budget knives are great. This is a $52 knife that would do anything I needed it to do in my knife life. This knife could be a one and done for me. $52. Would it make me feel warm and fuzzy like knives do? No, but it's a great knife. It's got jimping, 14C, aluminum handles. I like it, right? But you can experience a couple of knives that'll get you by, and then you can put your budget knife money aside instead of chasing. This is me telling my old self advice. And Dark Gravity gave me this advice and actually changed my behavior to where I was able to collect nicer knives, spending the same amount of money. I acquired a lot of knives to use in giveaways, which has been great. It's gotten me through 113, 114 Friday Night Flicks and member giveaways, just because they're knives that I loved at one time, but I realized that they don't hold sentimental value to me where other knives do. My point is, they did at one time. So at one time, I loved my Civivis. I was nothing but a Kaiser guy once I discovered them, the Vanguard series, and then I discovered the Thai series. So I've had the same amount of love going through each series of collecting, but I've stuck or stayed loyal, kept in my collection certain knives that to me took longer to save for, and they mean more to me. I think because of that, and because they're a knife that I wanted and thought might have been out of reach, but I just budgeted for it, I guess, differently or changed the way but that wasn't right out of the gate. So my biggest piece of advice, which again, take with no grain of salt because I'm an idiot, buy whatever you like. Get whatever makes you happy. And it's going to change because if you stay in the hobby long enough, just like any hobby, you're going to evolve. Ed's been a member for 18 freaking months. Ed, dude, that support, unbelievable. Thank you. Thank you. That's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to start blowing the horn if it does the comeback kid. Thank you, Ed. Thanks for hanging in here with me, buddy. I appreciate that more than you know. Um, I hope you've won something before on a Saturday show. If not, the odds are good. If you don't make it to a Saturday show, Mad Yoko's been a member for 5 months. Mad dude, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, that time it stopped. So that means there's hope. Mad, thank you. But both of you guys, I think Mad comes by. I think Ed might too. The reason I do the Saturday morning lives is not to jump on anybody else's live. They're usually an hour long at most, unless you guys want to stay longer. But the main reason is to do a member giveaway. There are usually 15 to 18 people in there. So the odds are pretty good. And I've given away some pretty cool knives. So try to stop by the member lives. I try to stop by. I've only slept through one, and then I had it, I think, later that day. But that was after a late Friday Night Flicks or something. No, it was after a Friday Night Flicks that turned into a said faction that came back to a Friday Night Flicks part deuce, where I just think we were all kind of hanging out till like 4:30 in the morning. Ed, no, and again, they're never. None of my lives are here because I want to attract people. I do those lives to make give you guys a chance. Paul Mills, 18 months of being a supporter and a member of my little channel. Thank you, brother. And y'all are more than supporters. You guys trade knives with me. You guys chat with me on the chat. Y'all are just friends. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Even if you're not channel members, I appreciate you. I know because I'm right now. Gareth, thank you, dude. Come to the live Saturday, and man, maybe it'll get christened the first one. We're doing it as a little tribe. I like it. I appreciate you guys. Hey, Kyle. I'm going to be nice to you. I meant to text you earlier, but I didn't. And I was going to text you with the nice text. I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I held back on that nice text. But yeah, I'll try to keep it low. I'll try to keep it low. But I've got to give love where love's is. I could blow a kazoo. I could get a kazoo. I could break my guitar out and run my line out into my soundboard and make y'all just really just go nuts. I got to show back the love. Kevin Smith and Niles, what's up, buddy? Yeah, dude, that would be what would you call that? A tenor kazoo? It'd be more like a little. Yeah, that'd be more like a party favor than a kazoo. A third grader party favor. Little turtle favor. Mark Parks, $5. Kyle, I'll miss you, brother. Thank you, Mark. Sorry, not sorry, Kyle. Hey, we're low key. You're welcome to jump on and look at Gareth gifted a membership to Henry G. Henry G thank Gareth. You just received a gifted membership. Thank you, Gareth. Thank you. And Henry G. Really perk that I've got for members now, except that I appreciate it and you get icons that you can use, is Saturday mornings, 11 o'clock. Come to the members only live. We do the little giveaway. It's all good. Wait, I don't know if y'all have seen the knives that Kyle has been finishing up for Shane. If you haven't, you're going to be flipped out. If you have, I'll just say hats off to teamwork. There is no I in team. And Kyle, those knives look awesome. Hopefully before long, you'll be finishing up one for me. A little joke wolf that I'll probably catch so much shit when I review. But I look forward to it. I think it's a beautiful little knife. Henry G's got his icons. Awesome, dude. I hope you get some value out of it. I hope you hang out, and I'm glad you're going to be here, dude. That'll give you at least four lives, 4 Saturdays, Saturday mornings. And like I say, they're short because I know Saturdays are busy for people. I mean, I'll stay on, but I always come in at 11, usually start taking names, and usually do the drawing at like 11:15. Dude, those thugs are beautiful. Are you going to put them on the IG, or are you just sending them out to people that they're coming to? Awesome, dude. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, buddy. Lurk Kyle, I'll try not to trigger you. I'll try to keep it just real low key. I'm gonna get on some meditation music. I'm gonna change my I'm gonna get my meditation logo up there so we can all kind of wind down, work on our insomnia. I'll be up all night, so for me it's a moot point. But I can set the mood. I can even William DeCito, member for 11 months, says, Kyle, put some pants on. Kyle, this is for you, but this is really for Cheeto. I love you, Cheeto. Didn't let that one play out long, knowing that Kyle's lurking. He's already unsubscribed. That's me too. That's the time I really come to. I do have a video for tomorrow. I haven't uploaded it yet, but usually this time I don't have tomorrow's video. That's one thing I used to do and will do again if I ever get to where I'm staging videos. I have enough concepts in one time, or enough knives to stage out a week of videos, because I usually shoot them on Sunday. I used to do early releases, so members would get like 6 videos at a time if they wanted them, and then they'd be staged out for the week for everybody else. But now I'm just behind the gun. I just don't do them till late night. But I've always been a night owl. I was a big sleeper in college, but that was usually during the day. Now I'm just not even a big sleeper. I'm a micro napper. I'll get up. I might go to bed at 4. I'll get up at 6:30 or 7, maybe 8 if I go to bed at 4. And then I'll take these micro naps, hour-long micro naps during the day, which hour to most people aren't micro, but I'm not currently working. So for me, they work out. And they're always me sitting on the couch, watching some YouTube video, and the reviewer or the knife person or whatever I'm watching talk me to sleep. Not because their content's dull. It's just because the voice Richard, thank you, man. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. I should solicit for likes, and if you're not subs, sub to the channel. But you know, it's all just fun to be here. I do it because I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I enjoy talking to myself because I've got a cat that's usually who I talk to. She's asleep. I talk to you guys, even though, for all I know, most of you could be bots, but I think most of y'all are real. So y'all are there. I enjoy it. I do. And I really enjoyed my little pop-up ones that I would do during the day. I only did them 1 week, that Monday and that Thursday deal. And neither one of them turned into a like learning either a disassembly video, reassembly, or a sharpening video. But that's the plan. The plan is to get those going weekly. I think, B Shady, you will not be disappointed. This is an Atom with non-lizard scales. These are just the basic contoured tie scales. And you can tell I've carried this knife. But I've got the Atom, the Neutron. I bought all my TRMs with the exception of the Bulldog and the Redline Fixie. They sent me those out. But all the TRMs I've owned before, I've purchased from them, usually at blade shows. I've always been a fan. If you're looking for a slicey, thin knife that you're not going to hard use, that you're not looking for a finesse knife, you're looking for a knife that's just a great cardboard destroyer, you'll love the Neutron. The Atom is a little bit bigger. Just to give you some perspective, this is the Neutron. They didn't have the lizard scales when I got, and that's the Atom. So the Atom's kind of PM2 sized. Mersalt, I did get the Atlas from you through Pocket Metal, right? That was like a 3-way traderoo. I think that's what, I love the Atlas. As a matter of fact, the Atlas must be living up top. Be Shady, as long as you got a pry. I thought you said I'm going to carry it and pry with it. You don't want to pry with it, but they're Magna Cut now, I think. They used to be 20 CV. Mine are 20 CV. My Nerd. I've got 2 Nerds. I had 3. Whoops. All of which I bought. Whoops. I'm not flipping it worth of shit. What's going on? This is in Magna Cut, and I think they're making their other knives in Magna Cut. And if you want a thicker grind, the Bulldogs, even though they're river locks, are the same size as the Neutron. This is identical in length. Whoops. But if you look at it in thickness, this Bulldog is a thicker knife. So if you need a little bit more, this is still super slicey, but if you need a little bit more girth, not like real girth, this is just thicker than that. The Bulldog's a good choice. Bless. Donnie's got the real heat. Donnie's got the handmade heat. Y'all, as a matter of fact, I'm sure y'all are all subscribed to Bless Knives. Let me drop his, because he's been throwing some sweet lives up lately of him doing what he does best, which is all right, where are you, Donnie? There you are. There you are at Blade Show West being talked to. I could show that and embarrass you, but I got something else that'll embarrass you. Hold on. Let me find your up. There he is. There he is. Copy this. Boom. 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 Chronically unsubscribed right now, guys. If no one here has had the pleasure of subscribing or gone to Donnie's channel, Blessed Knives. Whoops. Mark got it to me before I did. That's awesome, Mark. Actually, right after me, but you were quick. You were quick. He's also on Instagram, and he's gone live. I don't know if he went live today, but oh, Gareth, so you worked the late nighter, huh? See, I think I would like that. I think that would kind of, I wish I could do something remote late night, like deal with like people in China, but I can't speak Chinese very well. I can speak several click languages, but I can't speak Mandarin. And Google Translate can be a pain in the butt. Hey, Google, I wasn't talking to you. Stop. You just started translating. That's scary. Google's always listening. Be shady. I promise you'll love it, dude. If not, you'll, the TRM website's great. In the comments, say a shout out to Emily. She'll hook you up with some extra swag. They're great people. I can't go into specifics, but they are my favorite USA manufacturer, Paul Mills. I personally, for size, like the Neutron, but not by much. I carry them both just about the same. The Atom is so thin. I mean, it's really carries just like the Neutron. But the Neutron is probably more my size, Paul. Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You never have to super chat to get your question answered, but I absolutely. What I was going to say about TRM is they were my favorite company when I used to do Knives Live. Shane and I did that for a couple of years, helped organize it, and they were always hugely supportive. And then with everything that happened before, I mean, we've had things happen in the community where brothers have needed help, or we've had big things happen in the community with like Brother Brown, and TRM is always, what can I do? They're so charitable, and they never want to be mentioned, right? They don't want to do it and have people go, well, TRM did this for this person or that for this person. A lot of people know, but it's not my place to say, but it is my place to say, well done. And they're great people. I've met both the owner and his wife at Blade Show. They're super nice people. They're dog people, whether you hold that against them or not. I think that's kind of an asset. They love their little dogs. They've got French bulldogs. And then the gals that work in their marketing department, what's this? Emily, and I forget the other one's name. But they're just so personable. They're the ones you'll usually bump into at Blade Show. But if you go to Atlanta, or if you go to Nashville, they're usually at both. And they're at Blade Show West, I think, too. And Hillary, you're exactly right, Dan. Thank you, buddy. It's not Emily, it's Hillary. And what's the other one's name? There are two girls. You got Marianne Lee, the owners, and then you got Hillary and I forget. But they're super nice. Paul, which one do you like better? Do you like your Atom better? See, what's weird about me is I went through all my knives and thought, what would be the perfect EDC knife for me? And I bought a pair of 3 early on and sold it because the Paramilitary 2, which is the Atom size, is my favorite. I don't carry it as much now, but it's the perfect EDC knife for me. I've got three of them. I've got a Warncliffe, a Tonto, and my first one, which was one of my first 5 knives I purchased. But I usually prefer a smaller knife. For some reason, the PM3, I thought I'd love it. I got it right after my PM2. I got the S110V, the blurple, just to match. That's before I'd ever modded a knife. The Atom, it's got more blade, Paul. It's going to be more slicey, and it fits just the same in your pocket. I can't tell the difference if I'm carrying the Neutron or the Atom, because I think they weigh just about the same. It wouldn't be a bad thing just in time. I'm a dog person. I lost my dog a couple of years ago, but I've always had dogs. I just say, I never know. Some people, my dad being one of them, was not a dog person because he was traumatized when he was a kid by a dog. And he was also kind of an asshole. Still is, but he's better now because he has dementia. But I just don't want to, if somebody's not a dog person, that doesn't make them any less of a good person. I always think that dog people, I believe personally, this is just a John personal belief, that dogs are more loyal than most humans. Not that they're going to be able to do more for you or give you, the same type of fulfillment, but in terms of just being loyal, there's nothing like the loyalty of a good dog. No matter how shitty their day was or your day was, they're always excited to see you. And for that, I can respect them. Huge respect. I love Benchmades. I love and have the 940 and the 945 in the S30V aluminum. This was my first, what I consider a grail knife. I've got 2 bug outs that I like. I've modded both of them. One of them's got carbon fiber scales. The other one's got titanium scales. If you're looking for like a hard use knife, I think the Mini Adamas, mine just happens to have AWT scales on it. It comes with, I think, G10 or carbon fiber and speed holes in it. But this is a Siebert design, tactical Benchmade. I have a freak. I'm a big Benchmade fan. Benchmade and Spyderco. I've got probably over 10 of each of those knives. And I've always respected them. I don't carry them as much right now as I did, but I'm not traded them either. My favorite is one you don't see very often. And I picked this up 3 years ago, brand new. It's the first production, but they're out of production now. It's a mini Mojito, or no, it's not. It's the mini. I'll think of it in a second. But this knife I got at St. Nick's Knives for $150, and it was on closeout. And it's got really thick standoffs. It's got a flipper hole, and it's got snap. I'm assuming it's on washers. I've never taken it apart, but it feels like bearings. It's a mini Locos. It's a Benchmade mini Locos is what that is. Very cool knife. And then I traded a Demco, the mini Loco, thank you, Zach, for this little Valet, which is an M390 little gentleman's folder that I love. A great smaller Benchmade. Then I've got a mini bug out. I've got 2 regular bug outs, 1 mini bug out, which is a great EDC knife. I mean, these are bang for your buck. And I know a lot of people don't like the FRN handles, but they're really fine for what you're going to probably use a knife for, but they're very moddable. I think these scales that are micarta were less than $80. They might have been a little more than that. I think the sharp. And then the Griptilian you can't go wrong with. This is a mini grip with a Pardue blade. But personally, and Zach, this is not to hurt your feelings, I would personally choose a Ritter Hogue RSK. I always forget what it's called, MK2 with a couple other numbers, over a Griptilian. I've got both, and I think the texturing on the G10 I think is better. The standard blade steel I think is better. I think the actual axis lock mechanism is thicker. Not that that's necessarily better, but the price is also very comparable. I don't have one out here, but I can show you one. Hold on. They're MagnaCut now, and I think they're under. So they're $189 in MagnaCut. Now that's not Canadian. What's up, Dan B? What's up? Is Lord Needham in here? Was he in here? What's up, Lord Needham? They've got other colors too. But that is basically a Griptilian with better mill G10 in my opinion. With this is MagnaCut steel. And Doug was involved. Zach knows more than I do about the lore, but Zach was involved, or Doug was involved. Zach probably was too, in the design of the Griptilian somehow. I just don't know all the lore. Drink water, what's up, brother? Good to see you, Drink Water. I should have taken something apart tonight for you guys. What I need to do, where did I put it? Where did I put that little knife? I need to take this apart and put skiffs in it. Good to see you, Drink Water. But that might not be entertaining. That might put y'all to sleep. But that's the goal, is to get y'all to fall off and say, I'm out of here. I'm crashing. A couple of nights we stayed on here for 10 hours because I drank too much coffee. Brother Fed Harrison joined me and we just chatted. We just talked smack. I'm change the music up. Give you all a commercial. Wake up.
Kinder, Yibbo Shaky. Me unscrabbly. Shocka-dooby! Doubly shocka-dooby! Pop swabble! Toy! Yodel yum and choco scrum with multi-pop swabble dies! Oh, grobbly!
That's a creepy Humpty Dumpty looking dude right there. That was a very creepy Humpty Dumpty looking dude. But it got me to change the music. That was a good thing. I'm going to finish up this double shot. Y'all bear with me. Timber, what's going on, brother? I'm glad you liked it, buddy. It's my first shooting out in public video, so it was kind of crappy. I apologize for that. Plus, I should have come back after lunch because there were probably more exhibitors there after lunch. I got there early. But there was the first time I didn't even find out about that show until a week before, and I live here. But I'm going to go to Knives and More, a really cool knife store here. Zach's really going to like it because this guy trades in vintage killer Benchmades and case knives and stuff like that. So I'm going to go to Knives and More later this week and do a video. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate it, buddy. It was just totally on the hip. And I'd stop at a table and say, do you care if I film your stuff? None of them said no, but I didn't want to film everything because there was a lot of resale case stuff that was really cool, but it's just not really in my wheelhouse of understanding what I'm looking at. Not that anything is in my wheelhouse of knowing what I'm talking about, but I know what I like and what I bought. This guy, Mad Dog Forge, he makes really big knives. This is the smallest knife he had there. And this whole setup with this sheath that he makes in his living room, that's got an adjustable, you can adjust it from scout to regular carry, or you can put a clip on it and pocket drop it, was $150 at the show. And he also forges his metal. And then I picked this up, didn't plan on it, but Driver Defense had these small little Ricochet, and I'm a huge Driver Defense fan. Hey, buddy, do me a favor, Zach. You might want to email me your phone number for me to text you, or what I'll do, I'll text you what he's got before I put it on YouTube. So you could like have first look at what he's got down there in case it's something that you don't have that you want. And he's very fair with his dealing. And I talked to him about the fact that he doesn't have a website, but how he would be, the kind of deals he gives us on Benchmades are like bro deals, because Benchmades have margins, I guess. And what he always does is says, keeps your receipt, you bring it back to me, and you've just kind of kept it, used it, but not abused it. I'll give you what you paid for it. So he has a lot of people bringing them back in. I don't, William, but I love that little guy. I forget what it's called. Not the Dart, the Riot, RIOT, I think. I love their knives. I don't even want that from him, buddy. All I want to do is have some content and be able to bring some knives to you guys that are cool and help him out because he's a nice guy. Yeah, I'm not opposed to having Blade HQ, DLT, people like that send me commissions, but people like, there's several small makers that are import, they design knives that have affiliate programs, and I've specifically asked them not to pay me commissions, put it back into their business. I do the same thing with TKL knives, just because I love their knives, and I think that it's nice to have. I always suggest, if you get a chance, buy directly from the maker because they're getting more of that margin. When I bought this knife from Driver Defense over the weekend, I said, I didn't have cash. I said, what's the best way for you to accept money and it not cost you a fee? And he said, well, if you're set up with Zelle. And I said, I am. So I just Zelled him the money. I always like for the makers or the small designers to, at least on my stuff, not have to pay for it. And John at Knives and More was always really kind to me when I came into the hobby. And I bought several knives down there from him. My buddy A to Z's bought a bunch of knives from him, a bunch of Benchmades early on. And then we went down there one day and he had a Herman Ishtar, a Medford, a blackout Hinder, but the Hinder guy wanted it back. He didn't want to sell it. But he buys like estate case knives and slip joints. Pocket Metal would love to walk through his shop, but I'm going to try to get a lot of it on tape. B Shady, where'd they drop? Because I'll tell you, they were on last time they were at Knife Center. Let me go to Knife Center. And Knife Center is not one that I promote, not because I'm an asshole. I've heard people do this in the past, and I thought, well, that's kind of an asshole thing to do. But they don't offer affiliate programs. So I figure there are other people that carry most of those knives. So I don't buy from them. New folder. I don't have any. It doesn't look like. Where'd they drop? Oh, you're talking about Aries EDC. Dude, I've got a little pedal. See if I can charge this up. I've got this little pedal. This is an Aries EDC knife that Paul Mills got me. You see that glow? Let me get this thing loomed up. Got that G10 glow bolster and that glow carbon fiber. Hit it with a plate. Great little knife. This is a cool light too. I don't know if I've told you all about this. I did a video on it, and I usually don't do flashlights. This is a 4.7s. It's called an MXR standby light. So it's a house light. It's not an EDC light. But what's cool about it is it's got a removable 26650 battery that you can put in a charger, but you don't have to. You can have extra ones if you need them. But what it does is it's got a little charging base. And so when you set it in the charging base and you pick it up out of the charging base, it automatically turns on low. If your power goes out, it automatically lights up on low. So you have a power outage from a storm or something, and you've got that somewhere in your bedroom or in your living room, you are going to be able to find it because it's going to be shining up towards the ceiling. And then when you pick it up, you've got all the power you need, especially if you've got a backup battery charged. Oh, wow. Etsy, 6 balloon, 4 hatchets. The little hatchets, are you talking about the package hatchets? I'm happy for Scott. Those knives are just gorgeous. The Bloom, Satisfaction made sure I was able to review one of his first Blooms, and I was blown away by it. That's why I got so enthralled by this little pedal that Paul Mills just did a total solid bro deal and hooked me up with one. They're great little knives. Night, Gareth. Glad you got to stop it out, buddy. Welcome to being a member. Appreciate you. And come by Saturday. I'll be here Friday night, but Saturday, come by and win a knife, buddy. Oh, that's awesome, buddy. Did you carry it? I carried a weird knife today, fixed blade wise. Do you carry that on your belt or do you carry it on your pocket with straps? I carried my little micro Canadian Bark River in 3V. Just a great package opener. I guess it'd be a good bird knife if I was a bird hunter. But it's weird for me because it's a vertical sheath, but it's so small and it carries so high on my belt, it doesn't When I sit down, I don't feel it. When I get in my car and get out, I don't feel it. And then I carried my SPK, and I carried my 1931 Leatherwork slip that Tactical Terry got me with my GEC 86 Barlow. I think it's a Barlow. I probably named it wrong. That's what I be carrying. And I didn't go far today. Is Shed in here? What's up, Shed Knives? Dude, I hope you're having a good night. I was talking about you earlier. I hope your ears weren't burning. I love the picture of you as a young scout with your first knife, or on a family campout with your first knife. And then the picture of you now. You haven't changed much, dude. You've gotten taller and you've gotten muscles, but you definitely are undeniably the same kid. Yeah, those slips are just awesome. Yeah, that's Paul, that's the way to do it. My pocket droppers all go in my back pocket, and I love these deep concealment carry clips because they don't rust. But I've got a lot more ulti clips. They do rust. You can take them off and rust erase them. But I carry them in my back pocket just as a pocket dropper. Toyotas and tools. Hold on a second. I would reach out to OCD for EDC, but hold on a second. Spyderco. Dude, ask and we will deliver. Now, Etsy has these guys right here. They are Canis screws, $8.78. They're black. Or these are tenacious and resilient. They must be the same size. I wonder if they say the size of them. Yeah, I think you can go and pick up some of these sets off of Etsy and probably have a good set, unless you've got a super thick clip and you're having to compensate for that. But I had the same problem with my Demcos when I did my scale swaps on my 20.5s. I had to go to Etsy and get Demco clips to get the screws because the clips were so inexpensive. The screws worked, and I ended up using the deep carry clips. Aftermarket scales, I got you, Toyota and tools. I wonder if PM2 screws would be long enough, because only say, hold on, let's pull this up again. This is set up for the resilience and tenacious, and they say other models, but they came up under my search for $18.8. There's the body screws and everything. But sometimes these screws are long enough to work to get through your scales because they're made for G10 scales. $12, buddy, and that gets you the whole set. I'll drop this in the chat. You can click on it and then check out some of the ones that just come up under sales. See that? Boom. Oh, that's gonna be a big link. That's going to be a big link. What? It took up 2 spaces? Night, just in time. They are odd with their hardware, and the Tai Chung are interesting. I don't have it here, but I wonder if it uses the same size hardware that the why can't I think of it? The Smock uses from Tai Chung. So I've got some thick titanium scales where my clip hardware fit. Just get the music, just change it. I'm going to change the background. I'm going to stop sharing. And get some vibe going in here. Do this one. Where'd it go? Or we could go all nighttime. And Etsy, I've had really good luck on my Spyderco hardware from Etsy. I got this hardware set here. For the PM2 off Etsy for the same reason. These scales were so much thicker. That my clip screws didn't fit. That was my first grail. This is the Blurple S110V. I've had it for probably, I don't know, going on 4 years. I wouldn't want to pry with it. But talking about edge retention, whoops. Oh, dude, that sounds awesome. You just made me think of something. That's a blade style I don't have. The Emerson's got the hook, doesn't it? I've got the S110. I've got this one, and it's extra special because it's got further OCD for EDC's collection number on it. Very good information, Mark. So are those black ones? Let me see these black ones here. Whoops. Because they say they're for the Canics. Okay. Compatible with the Paramilitary 2, the Manix 2, the Para 3, not lightweight. And they've got huge reviews from people saying, I don't know why they just have black. So they're made for the Canis, but they also fit the clips for these guys. And they don't have any reviews from people saying that they weren't. He used them for his Osborne. But yeah, check out. I just Googled Spyderco. Yeah, you should be able to get them at your hardware store. But see, somebody like me, I wouldn't know what to look. Even though they're called M2s, I would get something wrong. So I'd have to just go and do the whole Google thing. Mark, you're a wealth of information, dude. Now, 440, is that the size of the screw? I guess that's just the width and the length. I know nothing. No, I need to change that music before it loops around. Keep it rolling. That's one thing you can't do on here. I've got a bunch of different songs saved in here, but I can't put them on just like play the next song. Play the next song. The thread style and size. And that's important because I've used some clip screws that I had maybe from a Spyderco and a different knife, and they worked, but I screwed up my threads in the knife. I think it was a Civivi at the time. Or maybe I got some of those Civivi screws from Amazon and they were threaded. Their thread size was a little different. They were thicker or thinner. They went in good. They just didn't want to come out again. So this is what I was going to show you guys. Let's see if I can find it. All right, to messages. Fucktards. All right, so I don't know who clipped this. I've got a good guess. If you're offended by horrible, horrible stuff, because I was shocked when I saw this.
I know them as people.
So you didn't want to push their shit in, is what you're saying?
That's goddamn right, I don't.
You pussy.
That's gross. If I wore condoms, it might be okay.
Oh my God! Jesus Christ!
And I know those bitches were not prepared.
Hats off to whoever clipped that. Hey, Toyota and Tools, that is absolutely true. Playing with knives has made me confident to take almost anything apart and put it back together and like upgrade bearings, put on scales. But I can't do, like, if I were to lose a screw, I'd be dependent on somebody sourcing that screw for me instead of me going out and try to find it. Donnie, wasn't that great? I thought it was. That's a short loop, man. Got some. Johnny does have standards. I don't know how we got on that conversation, but I never do. Usually if I don't have a partner in crime, I keep it just kind of weird, but I try to keep it together. Keep it about knives. And I really do want that TR3. $250. Thumb studs. Y'all want to see a beauty? That is a Mag 10 Knife Works. I don't know if you can see his name, Colin McGuire. It's on the Arcasa. ABL. Super thin. 80s carbon fiber. Oak City leather sheath. Whoops. Testing. Jerry Maguire. I need that drop. Show me the money. All right. I got my cold pitch on.
My real Cole voice. This is actually my real voice when I don't alter it.
Ed, that is a great question. And I've never been to Blade Show, Texas, but the first year that I went to Nashville, when I first went to Blade Show, I didn't have anything that I particularly wanted to get. I just wanted to experience it, right? It was my first time. So I just went, found some people, and started walking the show. Would end up back out in the hall talking to the people, then back in the show. And I quickly realized that just meeting the people for me was as good as going to the show. So like 2 months after Blade Show, I'd seen some things that I liked there. They had a Nashville custom knife show about 2 hours away from me. So I got early bird tickets and I knew exactly where I was going. So if you're trying to grab something, or somebody said this, and I was in a chat the other night and I didn't want to type it in because I thought it'd be misleading, because they said, what would you go for first? If I didn't have a knife that I wanted, but I had a couple $100 and wanted to get a great value, I would haul my ass to Spyderco's booth and go through their seconds. They have every knife they make in a second for under $100. And Shane got one, a PM2 in Maximet, and all it had was a stain on the G10. Toyota and Tools at Blade Show Atlanta, I could have purchased on the spot a Mini A100. I just didn't have the cash at the time. They had a lot of stuff. Now, if you're looking for something super special, but they had a lot of stuff that you could buy right there. This is impressive. This is a Kyle Coonley edge on this chisel Mini A100. Great little knife. Okay, Ed, if they're sold out, what? Because I never got early bird tickets at Blade Show because you're only getting an hour jump on everybody else. And unless you want to run with a bunch of other people to go get something that's really popular, there's not a need for an early bird ticket. If you're looking for something like a Hinderer, or if you're looking for a maker like a Blessed Knives from Donnie, or if you're looking for a Medford or Spyderco's or many other knives that will be there, you know, when you get in at 11. Oh, dude, Ed, all you need to do is get there, walk through the doors. You'll instantly see people that you know, even though you don't know that you know them, but you'll find that out. Just walk in and just start walking around. That's what I would recommend. And try not to do it in one day. Wear comfortable shoes. Later, Don. Have a great night, my friend. Keep grinding. Keep broadcasting. Y'all go follow Donzo. I'm going to drop his link in here again. Go give him a sub because you'll get some great daytime knife sharpenings. Not knife sharpenings. What the fuck am I talking about? Knife makings. You'll get knife sharpenings from me on my daytimes, which will start again at some point. Yeah, screws for me, finding replacements. I'll always end up scouring my floor, and I'll 9 times out of 10 will find what I've dropped, but it's always just touch and go. Like, am I going to find it? Yo. Usually no. So has everybody got busy weeks planned? Is everybody like enthralled, getting ready to jump into their hump day? It's about to be hump day here in the Central Time Zone. It was like in the high 60s here today. felt quite banging, actually. Todd Carr, welcome, buddy. Glad you could make it, man. Jeffrey Dawson, what's up? That's funny. Yeah, Ernie's probably telling Donnie, you need to get your ass in bed. Ernie's probably been asleep for 2 hours. But I'll tell you, Donnie's been hustling. Let me pull up his site and just show y'all what the man's been putting out on the YouTubes. So he's done these two from the shops. So you get an hour and 26 of watching what he does, making knives by hand. He's done a couple of these. He just started last week, so you'll start seeing him do a lot more. But very, very cool stuff. To me, it's like watching Pocket Metal when he's creating something on canvas during a live stream, because it's the same type of thing. Yeah, it felt so good today, Tim. It was awesome. I should have gotten out and skated. I've been needing to do that again. I've just been kind of, when you don't do it for almost a year, you're kind of like, eh. Exactly. Keeping it quiet, but just to be able to have access to all those shiny smoking things. I don't know if y'all know who Jason Momoa is. I've talked about him before, but he's that actor from Aquaman. He's a huge knife guy. And he's got an Instagram channel that's kind of a knife channel, outdoorsy channel. And he does a couple of unboxings where he gets so excited. You can tell he's a legit knife guy. I think he got an opium or and something else. If I can find it. What was he under? Pride of Gypsies. If y'all aren't following Pride of Gypsies, got this cat here. Let me find this video. Where is it? He's got a lot of outdoors content, unboxings that he does and stuff. But the one turned me on to his undeniable love of the game. Where was it? I'm not going to scroll much further. He's evidently got a liquor line too, but he's a solid individual. Where's that? Gosh darn. Let's do this. Right. Knife. All right, there we go. Trust me. He's a knife dude. And he's got some nice ones. Okay, here we go. Interesting. Is Air Steel, Jeffrey, where are they from? Good choices. I'd stop by. Are Demko and them going this year? Air Steel. They're in Illinois, so that is a good thing. Undisclosed LLC. You know, I wonder if that was a conglomeration. Let's Google it. Crucible. Yo. Yeah, so it looks like somebody has promised to keep the plant running and preserve most of the jobs there. Last minute bidder. Paywall. Paywall. That pisses me off. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So Air Steel. Metallurgy, blah, blah, blah. France started. Sweden, France, Sweden is exactly right. It looks like their production is done here. The LLC was formed 12 days before the sale. That's interesting. I wonder if that could have been. Oh, do they disclose what the dollar value was? There's no telling. Absolutely no telling. That's right, Todd. You can only, the intellectual property only goes to the name. You can't, this is according to Kyle Coonley, you cannot patent the formula. It's like a recipe. You can keep it secret and locked away, but with all you got to do is buy a knife. And I saw a gosh dang short today that I thumbs down. I can find it. It's a guy. It looks like he's promoting a drop of and if he's in here, I'm not meaning to call you out, but I used to get all kinds of grief for this. But promoting a clone. Let me find it. Find it. Where was it? All right. Where are the rest of my shorts? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Check this out. I disliked it. See?
Just sitting here enjoying flicking this lovely knife with the really nice detent. If you didn't see it, Ferret Chloride, I think is his name, made a video showing off the Fozy against the real Rosie, and I recommend you watch it. It's a really interesting watch, in my opinion.
Throw it in the lake.
And apparently the new batch of Fozies is about to drop on the 2nd of January.
So, to me, and I'm simpleton, that's promoting the drop of a clone. 1.4 million for the property. I wonder if a bunch of guys got together from the U.S. knife making, like Sal or Eric, Greg Medford, Chris Reeves or Tim Reeves, all these people, and tried to form a LLC to buy it. I wonder. I don't know why if they wouldn't get the name. Yeah, Ed, that does kind of suck. How close are you to Nashville, Tennessee? Because they both usually go to the custom knife show there. I know Brian does. Brian Brown. I've talked to him there both years I've gone. Only one active patent. Interesting. Guys, hopefully we won't notice much difference. You know, I'm glad that it looks like, according to that release, that by preserving the plant, not as many people are going to be impacted as initially thought, which is always a good thing. Right, kind of like Bowler M390 and S20CV, right? They're kind of similar or the same kind of formula, just different names. Correct. Niagara's their distributor. That's why I thought it was so interesting that nobody talked about the Chinese MagnaCut. When Eric had said that we all know that they're making Chinese making MagnaCut. Well, I buy it not now, but maybe down the future. Who's to say? They might be the only person making it. He didn't say that, but that's what he implied. The LLC is Louder Steel Technologies, and I'm sure we can't get any information on them if they just formed. Steel Tech Technologies. Copy that. Cut it. Pop it over here. There's a Steel Technologies LLC, but it's not Louder. Google doesn't even have them indexed yet. I think 1.4 was for the property, Ed. Todd, it was. And that's why Shane overheard at Blade Show, or knows someone who overheard Laren telling someone that no MagnaCut is being shipped outside of the North America. Which started the question on, okay, I'm getting Chinese MagnaCut, which could perform in, it has it in tests, but it's not that Chinese are buying actual MagnaCut, making knives and shipping them back, according to what Sal said, and didn't seem to be a secret. All right. And French Air Steel, Zach, when I Googled them, they look like they are, I wonder if they're going to, I guess they can make it anywhere. Interesting. Burnt Relic, what's up, brother? All right, I'm gonna have to bring the shit. I'm gonna have to bring the beat.
Back in my bag, y'all. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I gotta brag. I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back.
I just find it interesting to see what was going to happen with that, and I think it's going to make very little impact on hopefully what we have available. And for all we know, it could be better for the property here in terms of their survivability and better for the product overall. The intellectual property, they may have the intellectual property. If it goes to Air Steel, they may have the facilities to make it to much higher standards. Who knows? I don't know anything about metallurgy or stored or, making steel, but yeah, I wonder what they plan on doing with that. If they're a steel company, they plan on making something there. It might not have anything, for all we know, to do with the knife industry. They may have just bought the property and what's there. Paul, I would say, I know that knife makers or designers here will send carbon fiber if they want fat carbon because it's efficient. It doesn't cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars like shipping steel. So I can't imagine any Chinese company buying steel, because Eric says that they make it and he has knives made there, not buying their MagnaCut. But Laren was overheard saying that they don't sell to China MagnaCut. So that would leave. It says I'm sure they get good stuff. I just don't know, Paul, if it's, I think in Metal Complex is MagnaCut too. I don't know. But the point is, it doesn't stop with MagnaCut. So economics of scale. What Eric was talking about is Chinese foundries, because they're still considered a very emerging economy. They're one of the biggest producers of steel in the globe, if not the biggest. And they've got the most state-of-the-art foundries because they're constantly improving steel. So if it's, I don't think M390, I don't think D2, I don't think anything coming out of China, S90V, is crucible. I think it's made, probably could be just as good, even though it doesn't pass cut tests. That's why if you go to Outdoor 55's cut test, no Chinese knives have performed, and there are other variables, but even close to US similar variations because it's different steel. I don't know that for a fact. It just makes sense. If you think about it, to get a knife manufactured in China, why would they buy American steel when they could make it? And they don't have the burden of intellectual property. So I wouldn't have a problem if they were calling it Chinese something that was equivalent to MagnaCut or equivalent to M390 and 20CV, but it had its own name. The problem is they don't have a problem putting Benchmade on a box and selling it on Amazon. So I just don't know why they would buy legit steels. And I've got tons of Chinese knives that I love, and the steels have performed fine. Do I think this is 20CV? I doubt it. I doubt it's Crucible 20CV. But that's just me, conspiracy theory guy. Plus, it just makes sense that they would do it there. And they buy American steel. Yeah, that's true, Ron. But how does the market know? Again, I go back to Eric's video at SHOT Show talking about the knife industry specifically and the steel origins, the origins of MagnaCut. And the title of that video, if y'all remember, go to it, was Chinese MagnaCut question mark. So the clickbait led to nice center or SHOT Show. So it was this video right here. And they do buy a ton of steel from America. And we can demand it as a knife community, but who's to say we're going to get it? The Chinese MagnaCut, Eric Glesser sets the record straight. That's Spyderco's guy. So if we go here, and we go about,
you know, it was let's get purchase orders. So knife industry than any other industry. Make something for you and buy enough of it that it's worth a while, a bit, or worth it. You know, also sometimes it's a flagship piece. You know, I do feel that sometimes people like Crucible and Carpenter and Bowler, they get more recognition out of the knife industry than any other industry.
Even if it happens to be a very small part of what they do.
Because we love it, we advertise it, we talk about it, we sell it. How many times you get in a plane and say, "Oh, that propeller was made by Bowler"?
Right.
But you know, for the steel industry, I think it's important to cater to us a little bit because we're one of the oldest industries. We're knowledgeable, our passion, the equipment. I mean, we use lasers and EDMs and robotics and all the latest equipment too on the tightest tolerances. So I do still think that there's a future there. You just have to be savvy enough to find it.
And so what I think the subtext of what you're saying also is,
I've got to find where he actually says it. What's up, Kyle Coon Lee?
How we doing, guys?
Can you hear me, buddy?
I got you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, I got you, bud.
So do you have any light to shed on the acquisition? I felt like you might be in the know. Any more than...
No. I know that they were selling this past
Ron,
week.
and I'm not saying, I don't know if the companies necessarily know. I think if you're a company in the States and you place an order for a knife to be made in 20CV or S90V or MagnaCut, you're probably assuming that's what it's going to be made of. Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry. We'll get back to this because I'm curious.
No, that's fine. But going back to that, though, I mean, at some point, it's your responsibility as the owner. It's on you to make sure that's what it actually is. I mean, if you're just taking the word for it, then you're not doing the due diligence, so you can't really claim it. I mean, but anyways, back to Crucible. No, I knew that they were up for auction. I still never heard back from John, but I didn't think I would. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know a whole lot of background to that except for.
Here's the actual notice of the sale. The sale's gonna, looks like, take place.
Right. Well, I'm sure that also has to be approved as well too, because it being because Airsteel's French. Am I not correct?
French and Swedish, but their plant, when I Googled them, was in Illinois.
Okay. I just knew that for international, I probably would have to get approved as well, but
it's very possible. What did Zach say on the date? 2/27 is the date. Court order was filed today.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, I've never heard more from that Eric video, and no, but the title, and I'm going to find where he talks about it. All right. Here we
I'm
go.
not sure how that can be misconstrued.
I don't know either.
All right. Here's where he talks about the foundries, and I agree that the foundries may be more, but I think this was news to a lot of the people. Again, it is their due diligence, but a lot of times,
It goes along
if you're
with it.
new, you don't think about
Steel is the foundry of production.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can't be a nation of farmers and doctors and
You don't hear
lawyers, and we have to make things.
Yeah.
And without making steel, you know, if we're buying all of our steel from overseas, it's going to be a lot harder to compete. And
Yeah.
so, you know, I think I'm really hoping that somebody takes on the challenge of continuing to bring these grades out. I know Niagara is involved. I have to give hats off to Niagara. They are the distributor of Crucible steels. They are the distributor of so many other steels as well. They really help carry this industry along. You know, I don't. We all want to be successful together.
Well, and your point, like whoever winds up,
People like Niagara are going to support that challenge.
I think it was maybe earlier in the video.
Would I make some? Like,
Here we go,
not.
here we go,
I
here we
never
go.
seen that. They worked very hard to develop that steel, and Niagara and
kept it for
Crucible kept
America.
it for America and the Western Hemisphere, if you will. And though the Chinese may be making a copy.
All right. So Niagara, from what I heard, and Crucible kept it for North America, Western Hemisphere. And while China may be making a copy, if you will, and this is where he goes on to say, I wouldn't buy it today, but in the future, who's to say, right?
If you
So you
will.
don't know that's
Would I
so
make
they're
that?
actually versatile.
I
I
never
mean,
seen that
actually
you know? I just
very important in
the
the
world.
because Crucible doesn't actually roll anything out. If it, they just sell it mass produced. So Niagara is actually the one who's processing it and distributing it, while Crucible was just a manufacturer. So Niagara had the complete rights to the distribution, and that was the only way that it was going to get distributed to people who want to buy it, because otherwise people aren't going to have access to roll it out.
Yeah, that's what Jeffrey says. Niagara processes huge bar stock and hot rolls it to usable sheet metal.
Yep.
See, I learn from you guys every day. Yeah, but it'll be interesting, you know, to see.
What's up, Brock? Long time.
Is that Dan Brock?
I'm pretty sure, isn't that?
What's up, Dan?
Yeah, Toyota. I mean, that makes sense if you're just having it as a sales, but they're actually doing a heavy lifting as far as actually rolling it out and being able to distribute it. So, oh man,
Have you been sharpening your butt off?
Got a couple finished hand sanded today. Sharpened a couple. Packaged.
Show those up. I'm gonna make you big. Do you have one, or you already box them up?
I don't have them handy, but I am working on that. I can show you that. Give me 1 second. Can I show, when I try to hit present screen, can I show another app on my computer, or does it have to be
Absolutely. You can show
Okay.
anything you want to show.
Okay.
You just got to find it on your window, so you might have to go to your tabs because it's going to default to your web browser. You might have to go to the right. I think it says window or something, and then find the app.
Okay.
And if it's if it's an image in an app, you might have to open that image first, and then go and share that image.
It's asking me to give it permission to access things.
Yeah, I'm writing down your password.
Yeah,
I think I got your keystrokes.
You ain't got shit, buddy. Why is it not allowing me?
I saw a thumbnail that he was quitting YouTube ? I figured it was clickbait, so I didn't go in there. Nerve damage.
That's been that way for a while.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't go in there because I've had some a few, what would you call them, text exchanges with Elmer, and he doesn't have much of a sense of humor. As a matter of fact, he gets very, very butthurt over the littlest funny.
Why is that? It's wanting me to access documents. I don't want to access documents.
Well, does that mean open a document? Yeah, that I watched him early on, and he shouted down several people in chat about different things at different times that I finally just tuned out because he had kind of a god complex. In my opinion, he was very condescending to others who would express opinions that did not align with his.
I can't do it, Javon, because it's going to make me.
Can you share it with me, or is it something you can email me as an attachment?
Yeah,
I mean, don't stress on it.
I wasn't fully done with it yet. Give me 1 second. I'll just go grab them.
Dude, you don't have to do that. I don't want you to have to go.
Right. Just the other room. Not a big deal. They're
gorgeous.
It was gonna make me shut down my browser. So I'll be right back. Let me grab these.
To me, Toyota and Tools, that is the most cringe thing. That's what I watch for guilty pleasure. That dude y'all have heard me talk about, Steel Toe, which his whole show is begging and acting like it's like his audience is holding his money. And it's like he's entitled to it just for being live or whatever. I just don't understand that mentality. People do it because they like to do it. Hey, what's up? How are you doing, young lady? That's awesome you have guests in the house. We are doing well. We are just winding down, getting ready to look at some knives that Kyle Coonley is getting ready to ship out for Edgy American Blade Works that he's been collaborating on to do some handle sanding. And they're about to be shown, and they look awesome. I'm actually going to go ahead and make Kyle big, so when he comes back, he's going to feel nervous. We'll just wait for him. I don't know if y'all can still hear me. Can y'all still hear me when I'm not on screen? Kyle, can you still hear me when I'm not on screen? Dude, that's cold. Can you hear me, Kyle?
All right, buddy, I'm back.
Can you hear me?
I got you.
I made you big so you could show them.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, this one, I don't know if you still hear enough. This one is for Kevin Smith and knives.
Gosh, look at how that pops, dude. Oh, that's stunning, Kyle. And you sanded the bevels on that and the handles?
Yeah, I did the finish work on the handles and spines, and then down there, and then also did the
sharpening.
Yeah, the edge on there.
Oh gosh, dude, that is awesome. Kevin Smith, I don't know if you're in here, buddy, but that is gorgeous. Yeah, Gabe, that's true, buddy. It's you got to put out positivity just anyway, because if not, life's short. You're not going through it for the right reasons.
There's that one, and then this one actually is pretty special because both these were the holograms by Satu. But this one was one of the ones that he got super thin, and it actually turned it a little bit into a little bit of a recurve.
Oh yeah, that's that one that's beautiful, dude. How's Shane making those handles? Is that epoxy?
This is Fordite.
Fordite. How long did you have to work on those to get that kind of shine from what they were flat before?
I don't know, maybe 45 minutes to an hour.
Do you find it therapeutic, or is it?
I enjoy it, but if you look how much that black pops in there.
Oh, dude, it's just gorgeous. It looks like a totally different material. It doesn't look like the same knife before you did that.
So here's one that has not been hit yet.
I mean, night and day, dude. I mean, it just brings it to life.
Yeah, these are awesome little knives.
Yeah, I think they are too. I didn't even think about that when I ordered that joke wolf that he had left.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was clickbait, Toyota and Tools. When I saw it, is this my last YouTube or whatever? Like, what's it gonna be? And usually it's a poor, pitiful story that starts out with a guilt trip, and I just didn't have it in me.
What?
Imler did a live today that the thumbnail was quitting YouTube and something else.
Who cares?
I don't.
I mean,
but
if that's the case, then so be it. But I mean, why do you?
Because he wasn't really quitting. He was just bitching at the audience for not super chatting him enough. That's what Toyota and Tools said. He gave him, and he super tipped him $2, and Mike didn't even acknowledge it.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no comment there.
No, me neither. Let's see.
Mills. Fordite is originated its old paint that was put together in epoxy, and it's old paint from car dealers. Yeah, paint booths from the car manufacturers in Detroit. So, like, actually, Fordite was actually the first one who did it.
Good analogy. Yeah, I didn't know what's don't they use bowling balls material to do something with too? Is that Keardite? What am I thinking of?
I think it's just a Keardite's just a synthetic.
Would bowling ball material be too heavy? Am I just making up something in my fan fiction?
Bowling ball materials, it's there's a weight to the bowling ball that makes it heavy. It's not the material.
I just didn't know if, for some reason, I thought maybe it just looked like bowling ball material.
So, Paul, if you look at that, you can see all the different colors in there. Yeah, so like all the different colors in there: the black, the white, there's actually a little bit of red in there, purple, green. That's all paint that came out of a spray booth, and they just put it into a resin. Dawson, are you serious? I'd heard wrong then. My apologies. What's up, Cheeto? Yeah, it's cool material though. And these things are super, super slicey and thin. Mills, did you talk to him? I've got yours should be on its way to me.
Yeah, those going out pretty soon, Kyle?
These two are going out tomorrow.
Those are bangers.
I should have another batch on its way, and then this one I gotta work on still, but this one will be up for. This one is not sold. These other two are already sold.
What's that one made out of?
What, this one?
Yeah, the one that's not sold.
Crewwear.
Damn.
Yeah.
Y'all jump on that, so I don't. I would have jumped on that before the Joke Wolf if I'd have thought about it.
Yeah,
I know I'm going to catch grief for that review.
This one got for some reason, I got a little bit distressed in transit, so I'm going to
distress a little bit.
No, I'm going to clean this one up and then etch it so that way acid wash it so it's back on there.
Todd, did you get one for your fixed system? I've got an Atoma 140 4-inch that's just the bomb. I went back to 6-inch.
What's that?
I went back to 6-inch stones. I'm just trying to get it figured out, get it dialed in.
Nice, Todd. Have you ever been able to try out some of those other stones you got, Todd?
It looks like it, Gabe, but yeah, it's old paint from when they go repurpose those old plants. Somebody thought to make stuff out of it.
Paul, the issue is that when you get the side cut like that, because yours is cross cut, so then when you have the sides, there's really not any ability to show the inside, being that the scale material is so thin to start with. So, Kathleen, I don't know a total on that.
I think he's got one or two made still available.
Yeah, I don't want to quote on that because I'm not 100% sure. I think he is probably more focusing on the thugs now, solely for the fact that
it's got an identity, its own. And
yeah, and I think it's going to fit more hands better. So,
yeah, I agree. I think it's just a dynamite design.
Mills, if that's the case, I'm just going off what I was told. I mean, when I get it in hand, I'll take a look at it, and if I can do anything with it, I will.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's the kind of the thug. I think the thug was done before. They do ship them. Be shady. I bought some off Amazon that I was told were the right size, and they're way too small. But the ones that you can buy from TRM, let me see if it says what they
How you
are.
doing, Kathleen, by the way?
What's that?
So I was just saying hi to Kathleen.
Let me share this real quick with you. And I would recommend those. I don't know why I like them. Because it's got those longer studs. But if you go to, let's see, TRM store, hardware and clips.
Todd, that 100% makes sense. That's the great thing about those. They're supposed to be able to cut like crazy, but yet give a phenomenal finish. They're designed to be a one and done stone unless you're doing chef's knives and then you're going to go up. Then you get a second one. That's why they're so expensive.
And you could probably get these on Amazon because these look like different size O-rings here.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably could.
Because I've got a bag, and they might even fit it. They looked a lot smaller, and I know they could stretch. I can send you some out to try, William. What's up, Chef Rocky? Be shady. Shoot me an email, buddy. I'll send you a handful of these ones I've got. I think I've got a couple from TRM too. Shoot me an email saying, hey, buddy, you said you sent me some O-rings because I've got some that I bought. It looks smaller, but they'll probably go over them fine.
Yeah, this
Is the vitrified the one you were talking about?
What's that?
The vitrified that cuts like a dream. Is that the? Or that's supposed to be a stone.
He's talking about the vitrified. Those are bench stone. It was super expensive. It was one of those ones that was kind of collab with Sean Big Brown Bear.
Gotcha. Kathleen.
The best way, Kathleen, is to send him a message on Instagram, and if you're not on there, I can be the intermediate for you if you want to reach out to me via email, and I can get messages back and forth either way, or I can just give you his email, one of the two.
I'll hook you up, Be Shady.
Oh, I'm sorry, Todd. I thought it was the one of the Big Brown Bears. Either way.
So so you can start with the diamond plate, and then as your grits get progressively smoother, you could switch to bonded.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, except for my first stone is a diamond vitrified. That's what that Poltava silver is. I take it back. It's a vitrified CBN. So
I think what screwed me up is I've been practicing on this TRN or this TKL combatant, and I've been trying to do it at a lower grind. And I think
those are thick as hell. So
it's very thick. So I think that's what my issue's been. So I'm gonna go and get on this Kaiser and see what I can do with these diamond plates.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pack a lunch if you're gonna be lowering it on one of those TKLs.
Yeah, that's what but it's 80 CRV, so I thought it would go pretty quick. But I'm telling you, that nitrate or nitron borite shit that they put on there.
It's not that. It's a thickness. Thickness will make you sharpen longer than anything else, more than HRC or anything else. It's actually the thickness of the
because it'll kind of give you a false burr feeling.
Well, it just takes a lot to cut. So that's why thin nitro
knows his O-rings. Congratulations, P. Shady. I promise you, I will purchase it from you if you don't love it, because I'm a huge fan. As a matter of fact, I gave away a ton of TRM scales after I bought my titanium scales, and I wish I'd kept a couple of sets, because sometimes my cartridge just feels better in the pocket. Yeah, I just practicing. I need to practice on something different.
Yeah. If you're just trying to get comfortable, then that wouldn't be the first one.
Yeah, well, when I did it before on my Blitz, I did it at 21 degrees. And my other, so if I had probably done it at 21 degrees, I probably would have been better off at getting results that I wanted. Which wasn't to make it thin and slicey, it was just to get it, to see how that compared.
Gotcha. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, there'll be better ones coming out. Cause I've got to get this. I've got a stable table, and I'm crazy, man. I've got a 3-bedroom house, and I live in 1 bedroom. I got a living room and a dining room. I have my little studio set up in my dining room. I can just move it. I've got 1 bedroom that's got carpeting in it that I could move my studio into, and probably get a lot better sound. Have my own space, even though I don't have anybody I share the space with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll happen, man. You don't want to do that. We talked about that, I think, last night too in the live. Did you see that screen clip that I think Stevie probably is responsible for?
The what? I'm sorry?
The clip from last night's live?
No.
Oh, God. Let me find it for you.
I left after a while.
I don't blame you. It devolved quickly.
Well, it was just the fact that I want to throw temper tantrums and someone doesn't agree, then you get booted. So I'm like, whatever.
What he doesn't love, but it's annoying.
I know them as people.
So you didn't want to push the shit in, is what you're saying?
Goddamn right I don't.
You pussy.
That's gross. If I wore condoms, it might be okay.
Oh my God! Jesus Christ!
And I know those bitches were not prepared for that shit because I know them as people.
So you didn't want to push their shit in, is what you're saying?
Goddamn right I don't.
You pussy.
You guys.
That's brutal. Stevie and them will get you though. Stevie and Maddie are out there just hunting for fucking clips. They are like the Clippers of the knife world. And you could make a channel on that. You know, Tactical Llama's kind of done a good job with his news if that's what you're into. Although he's seeming to be taking it on the ass. Yeah, I used to. I've had some dealings with Jason with Knife Dope, some personal dealings. He's a good guy. You know, William, I can't. I don't know him well enough. He's done some douchey things that I wouldn't do, but I'm kind of a pussy. I think I should do more, say more. But you know, I think that's the general consensus. But
I don't know the human, so I can't speak on that. But I will say I did not like how he talked to some people, but then again, I got a very nice comment in a DM, which I've never talked to the gentleman before, and he sent me a very nice message. So I don't know.
And the other side of that too, I was thinking about it after we talked about that, Kyle. It reminds me of when Slicey Dicey did his thing, and Super Still Steve made a post and said, "Please, you know, leave a comment if you've ever had any issues." And I left a comment, and about 10 minutes later, I got an email from Slicey Dicey saying, "Hey, didn't you win a Patriot about 8 months ago? Did you ever get that?"
Yeah, but my job is I've never had any interaction at all.
No, but I have.
Right, but I'm just saying. So I'm not going to.
No, and I would not. And my interactions were totally positive. All I did was after he'd said some things about people that I don't agree with. I don't agree with. I mean, I wouldn't say he was necessarily off base, except that he was at the same time showing what I know from being an digital analytics guy from my old job is not natural, normal growth, and also promoting a Patreon while he's calling other people out for doing the same thing, to me seemed hypocritical. So he was in there, and there were several people. The whole audience was pretty much people that were creators questioning him about why he feels that way, and he was kind of having to defend himself. And I just popped in and said, "Hey man, you're welcome on my live anytime if you'd like to talk, or if you'd feel better because you want the traffic, we can do, you know, I'll join you anytime and we can just talk it out, you know." And then I put something like debate, not hate, and that was it. So, you know, I don't know. I think, you know, like I say, I don't know him. He looks like a nice guy. He talks about going to Blade Show every year, and I like the fact that he goes for one day to Blade Show, and then he goes with his family the other day to the aquarium. I give him props for that. So, you know, there's I'm sure there are redeeming qualities, but then I've heard things, but they're coming from a group of people that, you know, I don't know how much of it's hearsay or how much of it's real. So I just stay out of it.
I don't like to talk about things I don't know about.
Me neither. Even if the sources sound very reliable. Hell, I fought with Shane for years about not believing him. Now I'm fully convinced that Shane was cheating straight.
What cracks me up is people put him into a stereotype, and they really don't see past his goofy stories and his accent because
he's so fucking wise. He
plays into it, but he's really not ignorant. I mean, he's very complex.
Yeah, and he's very wise, and a lot of just like he says, he won't make a statement if he can lose the argument. And he's not the type that just wins because his side's right, his idea is right, and everybody else is wrong. His sometimes get blown out as a general social commentary or a political agenda when he's pointing out something very specific in his post, because he is very sly. He's a great troll. I mean, I respect the fuck out of him for being just a master troll. I mean, when he and Metal Complex, when he got 96 fucking comments from Metal Complex in a fucking Instagram post, that's epic, guys. Jeff Carter, how are you, man?
Well, it's funny that like I said, he plays into that role, so people just think that, but he's not that way at all.
No. A better dude you won't find very few.
Dawson, that's correct, but the problem is then people sometimes don't actually or don't want to give him credit because they think that, but it's when you bring the receipts, it's hard to argue.
That goes back to y'all probably don't know who Brandy Carlisle is. She's a folk singer, but she had a song called "The Joke" years ago, and the joke's really on people who don't look past what they would think of the stereotype or their perception of the simplicity that's just the opposite. I mean, an individual has dropped more wisdom bombs on me and caught me by surprise because I bought into it. You know, I know where Shane's from. I live close to him. We met in Grateful Panic's live streams before either one of us had a channel. We started our channels and started fucking around the time we did Knives Live together. And then we met. I gave him a bunch of knives to review, a bunch of Chinese knives, by the way, that he reviewed. And we just became friends. And, you know, there are not many better people. And we've been sitting up here like at a restaurant and he'll be talking crazy shit. And then he'll drop a truth bomb that just makes me go, whoa, you know, I didn't expect that coming from you.
Yeah.
So that means I never gave him the credit and still argued with him up till he sent me the link for Eric talking about the Chinese Magna Cut.
We had a rocky start. We didn't get along great at the beginning.
That's something else I'll say about Shane. He is very sensitive in a good way. And he will always look for a way, especially if he has, because I know several people he's had violent disagreements with, and they've started their relationship that way. But Shane wants to find the good, find what's common.
No, it was
goes about it in a very unique way. What?
So it was stupid the whole way it transpired. It was
no trolls, dude. It should be fucking.
That's what I was getting ready to say. It became that we were both kind of similar, and I thought he was a complete asshole because I would see him around a bunch, and I'd be like, "Hey, well, I didn't realize," and he never responded. Well, I didn't realize that how he is with tech, and he doesn't freaking respond to people, and doesn't say hi back. And I'm like, he's just a dickhead. And then he thought
he's got his caps lock on.
And he thought I was because I would joke and give him shit or whatever. So we ended up like not getting along for a while. Then we started talking a little bit, and like now we're inseparable.
Well, and where I gave him a lot of credit is about 2 years ago, and it was Jason. Was it Jason Brown? He and Erica used to always get in flame wars. He hated her. And somebody had told him that they were more in common than think. Maybe it was Tina Turner, I forget. But Shane reached out and made peace with Erica. He's not too proud to go back and say, maybe I didn't give you the right amount of chance.
No, and see, that's the thing that a lot of people don't get is just because someone can be hard on a stance doesn't mean that they can't go back and admit that they're wrong. A lot of people won't, but the good people will.
If you've got humility, you'll grow from it. And you learn something, right? I mean, we've all got opinions. That's why they have debate classes. That's why you have two sides in every courtroom. That's why you've got, the truth somewhere in the middle of most things. And perception, everybody has different life experiences, so their reality is therefore different. Johnny and I talked about last night, and there's a lot of truth to that. That doesn't mean that you or I have to agree with if we, had radically different life experiences. We're not necessarily going to have the same conclusions of what we think reality should be.
And I disagree with that to a point, because I think I'm much more black and white, less than gray, because I don't believe in the whole your truth. There is the truth. Now, your perception of the truth may be different, but that doesn't make it right.
No, that's what I'm talking about. But your perception of the truth is that doesn't mean it's real. But if I perceive this to be the truth, that's how debates start, right?
Correct. But I mean, now everyone's like, well, it's my truth, and that's no. That's not.
Right.
That's not
and your truth could be anchored in fact, right? And mine could be anchored in deep, rooted, environmental, emotional, raising, things that I've learned to be fact that may not have been altogether fact. But the difference is when you present me with a debate and fact, that I could accept it and say, well, wait a minute, I've learned something today, instead of this guy's just wrong. And too many times, I think the majority of the times, you can look at it in government, and we're not going to talk politics, but it's easier for them just say, no, you're wrong. Fucking, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. No, you're crazy. Instead of saying, wait a minute, somewhere there's the truth. It may be black and white, but you've got two people, two opposing attorneys, or two branches of government that have in their mind, their embedded truth, what they perceive it to be. So if I perceive it to be, it is my truth. It's not the truth, it's my truth. Now, their truth, whether it's the other attorneys or it's your truth, Kyle, or it's the other party's truth, could be anchored in fact. It's their truth. They believe it. What doesn't happen enough is my perceived truth is very rarely in a group setting going to mesh with the absolute truth, which is rarely absolute, but it can be backed up by fact. I'm giving that as a hypothetical. We'll give it that. There's still got to be some compromise, because I don't think you're going to completely change somebody's mind. And I don't think there's a right or wrong either, Jeff. I think there's black and white, but I think there's a lot of gray, because we don't have the same, and I'm not saying economic conditions, even though we don't. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we all come from different realities. I don't think there's just one reality that doesn't make
it have to be gray. There can still be more black and white. It doesn't.
Sure, there can be black and white on a lot of things.
I believe majority of things in life are black and white, and you shouldn't.
More moral issues can even be questioned based on the morality and the religion of the person that has those beliefs, right? I'm not saying one, because I might not subscribe to either, but a truth, for it to be an absolute truth, would it not have to be accepted by everyone? And I know what you're saying, Kyle. I'm not arguing with you. And I think most things are more black and white, but you'll never get a black and white consensus, because I think people's individuality,
I agree with that
completely, too much ingrained or embedded realities that they've lived within, since we're all in a simulation anyway.
The problem is people don't want to have civil discourse and have conversation about things that they don't agree with. Like
See,
we
that's
can,
the way you learn. To me, that's mind blowing that people don't want to have that.
well, they want to talk with feelings and get loud and throw a fit, and instead of having just a civil conversation, say, you know what, we don't have to agree. That's fine. But if I can show you something and that's based in fact, and you're not willing to listen, then that's just
Well, if
silly.
nothing else, I should be able to tell you why I believe what I believe. And then you should be able to come back and retort why you believe what you believe. And we could agree that we'll never come to terms, but it should never go to, like you say, just to, I'm not going to, you're wrong, I'm right.
Well, and that's the point is at some point when you have conversation with someone and they aren't willing to even listen to you or hear your side of something, then what's the point of having that conversation? There's not going to have any discourse.
But on the optimistic glass is half full side of that whole thinking, for us to move forward as a society, we have to be
You can
willing
try,
to,
but
one person has to try, and hopefully it'll take enough times over time that people start to have conversations.
Well,
I don't think it'll be in our lifetime.
No. I think there's been too much emphasis on quote unquote dunking on people or saying that, you're wrong, and instead of being like, hey, listen to this, go research it yourself. I'm going to give you information. Go research it yourself and see what you think. And if you don't believe it, that's fine. But hey, whatever.
Exactly, man. And you're right. A lot of times it takes too much energy to try to change those minds. But I think to leave it open, kind of like in a 12-step kind of way, well, look, I'm always willing to talk to you about that. And I'm not going to judge you for what you believe unless you believe in fucking me in some kind of way. Then I'm going to have a problem with it. But, some of that stuff just is what it is. And we have to agree to disagree. And I realize that there are a lot of different views on things, right? And it always leads to the same thing.
Oh no! Mom's favorite vase. She always says, don't play ball in the house.
Don't play ball in the fucking house, man.
It is okay to judge on certain things.
I agree.
And I don't think there's any reason to be.
But to openly judge is to debate, is my point. So I'm wanting to discuss this with you, and if they don't want to discuss it, you can judge, but it's not going to change or move the conversation forward.
No, that's not what I was talking. I'm talking about more along lines of if someone does something, you can judge them based on their choice of action.
Exactly. Well, actions are definitely black and white. And
correct.
I think the choice there is to associate with people based on the actions that you've been privy to or seen, right? I still think people can make and do stupid shit that I would not agree with any part of it, but in their minds, not because they're just crazy, but because they see things differently. Kind of like the Chinese looking at intellectual property, people looking at different things differently. Yes, we can say one way's right, one way's wrong, but at some point, you've got to, I think, see that some people see other choices in their reality that are clearly wrong by my reality and the law's reality, but do they necessarily abide by that?
I think what it comes down to, what it really boils down to is, no one's perfect. We all make mistakes. That's great. But we've lost a sense of personal accountability. And when you don't take action for what you've done, or don't take consequences for your actions, then nobody gets better.
You're exactly right. It becomes stagnant, and it doesn't work. If you're not willing to do it for yourself, you shouldn't expect others to do it for you. If, however, there are things that could be done better, I think. And I think there are things that are done really shitty, but unfortunately, it's there needs to be more debate and less just open hate. And there's a lot of open hate. I mean, there was shit today on the news I saw that was just kind of sickening. It's just driven by just hate.
Well, I mean, in some cases, I don't see it as a bad thing, but in most cases, I think you're correct that it could be
redirected in a more
repurposed for a different cause.
A lot of energy that goes into something that could have been directed to make a more and try to enact your change, but try to do it in a way where you might have a better chance to enact change.
Jeff, I 100% wholeheartedly disagree. There are certain things that there's zero interpretation to. I'm not saying that everything is wrong, but yeah, there are certain things that there's zero interpretation to.
Just as an idiot listening, like something that's not, and I'll play devil advocate because I think about
child trafficking.
Yeah, no, that's not open to interpretation to me.
Right. So I'm saying
in other cultures, I think it's wrong, definitely wrong, but they don't see it that way.
I don't give a shit.
I don't either. And I think child abuse is always wrong. Now, murder, self-defense, I think there can be fine lines there that, you don't know, but I think what you're talking about, I don't think anybody would argue with.
That's what I'm saying. There are certain things that there's zero interpretation to. Now,
Bluetooth Blaze, what's up?
Just because I don't like to talk in absolutes. And I'm not saying, Jeff, that you were defending that by any means, so don't take it that way. I'm just saying that it's hard to say absolutes or anything. We can generalize and say that a lot of things that have potential nuance, but not everything. Everything got to the point where it became so nuanced that you can't actually have a definitive right or wrong, which I don't think is correct personally. So
I can think of one that I'm not going to throw out there because it's not a political show, but a hot potato that I think is an absolute that a lot of people don't. But we've been here 3 hours and 15 minutes, and I've kept you guys up late. And before I throw a hot potato into the chat room, Kyle, you got anything to leave these lovely people with?
No, I glad to have a little therapy session, so to speak, and chat about life.
We're going to do some joint sharpening Friday night, aren't we?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, I'm going to set up. I'm going to set up, and I'll sharpen something, or you can walk through. Maybe I'll have put something together for you to go talk through for people who are, and you might have something you already want to talk about.
Pocket Metal's here?
Is he here?
Where? Jeff was saying he agreed. I didn't see him say anything.
What's up, Pocket Metal? If you're here.
I didn't see him in chat. Sorry if I missed you.
I like that, Craig. I'll agree with Craig, and I'll leave it with that. And guys, I always say, I love each and every one of you for what we have in common. What we have that aren't in common, it's okay. Maybe I'll learn. Maybe you'll learn. If not, I love you anyway, right? So do me a favor. Look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your hearts. Listen to the music. See yourselves out slowly but surely. I love you all. Peace.
Later.
back in my bag, yo. Conscious. ISO. Diamond. Back in my bag and I gotta brag, I do this shit for real. When we was down and we had nothing, we had to share a meal. We put the shit in overdrive with no steering wheel. Shorty throw that thing back in a pair of heels. Yeah, she be riding on that thing like a Ferris wheel. Yeah, I love them dark skin, brown skin, caramel. You know I had to bring it to the hood like she